Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subject, custom, Kevin, console, Bappa, console, fairly known. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason.
Hey, let's get it started indeed. Thank you guys as always for tuning in to Wanna Bet. It's always cutting it close, by the way, Ben. I wish maybe our theme song went like 10 seconds longer, and that would just give me a little bit more time to like intro the quote tweet on Twitter before, so people just aren't like, hey, what is this thing randomly, popping up on my screen? I try to give a little intro there, but it's cutting it close. It's cutting it close every time. What's not cutting it close is this show turning a profit for you. If you're new to this, we give you our best plays across all sports. Our favorite plays in the last 24 hours since yesterday's show. We do this every day. We cash for you guys basically every day. Not a whole lot of down days around here. When we are down, we don't stay down. We had another super profitable night last night, cutting across the English Premiership, cutting across MLB, NFL preseason. Okay, we didn't do great there. But basically everything else, WNBA with Beltway Ben again. Another huge night for us. Beltway Ben, walk us through it and show the people how we did.
There we go. Yeah, very, very good night. As you said, in both of your Liverpool plays, cash coming through in the final.
Mo Salah, baby, 94th minute, just like we scripted it.
Just so anybody wants to know, I did tail it. And we were live when this game was going on. I had put my head down and was completely checked out, figured it was done, to which I turned up to the other host saying Salah scored and Jason going crazy in there. So it was a very good, surprising feeling. I thought for sure I'd be done. But WNBA, we had a very, very good night. Rakia Jackson cashes all her props for us, including the Sparks winning. Thought it was going to be more of a statement. But it got tight at the end, and Paige Beckers missed a buzzer beater, almost put us down. Yankees win. Luis Gil was good as I thought he'd be. Alex Bregman, it was over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs that did not cash for us. So it was unfortunate. But, we still finished profitable night. We were up about a unit. How about you, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, look, I really can't complain. We were both on the Astros in different ways. Brandon Young almost threw a perfect game. That stuff's going to happen. I don't think anybody saw it coming. Including Brandon Young. So there was that. I feel like I lost another. Is that the only MLB bet I lost last night? I guess so, right? I hit the quick hitter with the Phillies. Yeah,
it was just football. The only other loss was
football. And then football. Look, I should have taken Atlanta for the game. I took first half because I was believing the smoke that was coming out about Cousins and or Penix playing in this game. Instead, we got a whole lot of Easton Stick, who got better as the game went on. I played it first half. I should have. Look, I did play, frankly, personally, I did play it for the game, and I played it for the half. I gave out Atlanta plus 3.5 here because I felt better about that than the game. Turns out I was wrong. And then, Ben, you were on the under, and this was another one that squeaked over. I think it's 16-2 to the over now in preseason.
Yeah, it is. And we were also flipped. You should have played the full game. I should have played the first half.
Yes. First half was nothing. 13-3. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was tough. And then all of a sudden, the third quarter, they come out shooting. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But again, it's preseason. That's the big thing when we discuss these preseason bets. It's hard to predict the third and fourth quarter, how long guys are going to play. Like, you have to know what to buy into and what not to. That's why we're trying to give you guys these bets off of stuff and trends that we've learned from a lot of these coaches that we've been giving out bets with for years.
Yeah, and again, we're pretty judicious about it because we know there's high variance. All right, enough about last night where we kicked ass again. Let's kick ass for our viewers and friends today. First down, Beltway Ben, you have the honors.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ketel Marte over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And you see a juice number there for a 2.5 number, which is shocking. A lot of games. But when you go to Colorado and see what these games have done, that's what you get. So I'm pretty confident in this one. I think Ketel Marte has been awesome this season. And there's also the reports coming out about whatever's going on. I read a whole article about him yesterday that some of the players are upset with the games that he's missed and stuff going on, and they're not fully buying. Like the house robbery, supposedly it came out after that he was in Dominican Republic, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. But
Wow.
I don't really care. Ketel
No, me neither.
Marte, it's Ketel Marte. Like if they want to get rid of him, bring him to Baltimore. That would be very nice for me. He's an awesome player. I also do like the over 11.5 in this game. But again, when you look at this pitching matchup, when you get Dollander on the mound, who's literally got an 11.5 ERA at home, and he's been giving up home runs to lefties every 3 innings. Pretty good feeling here. If they do go to a lefty in the bullpen, we get the switch hitting Ketel Marte, who can hit righties, who can hit lefties. He can really do it all. Again, 2.5 is a wild number. We have not seen either game go over in the series so far.
Yeah.
With as bad as both teams' bullpens are, I was leaning to giving that out for first down, but I will just combine the two. I like Ketel Marte over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 145 for a solo play. And then another solo play is the over 11.5 at minus 110.
Love it. First down, I'm going to MLS. The two teams in MLS that impressed me most in Leagues Cup were Seattle Sounders and Columbus Crew. In hindsight, Columbus maybe played the tougher track. And I love what they showed. I especially love what they showed against Toluca, who I told you that's the team I played in futures markets to win Leagues Cup. And now they get to face one of the worst teams in MLS. And Columbus didn't play last weekend coming off Leagues Cup. So they've had 10 days to now get back acclimated to the MLS season, to practice, to rest. And they go up to Toronto to face a really bad side. Columbus has gone 8 straight games without losing to a Canadian-based side. Columbus and Toronto head-to-head the last 5 times out. The Crew have won 2-0, 4-0, a 1-1 draw, and then 2-1 and 2-1 to Columbus. Toronto has not won all season when they concede the first goal, and I really like the way Columbus is attacking here, and I think Columbus pushes to get up in the first 30 minutes, knowing what that tends to do to Toronto. We're looking at a Columbus team in their last 5 matches across all competitions, 4 wins, no losses, 1 draw. That 1 draw was to Toluca. Again, maybe right now the best team, best club team on this continent. We're looking at a Toronto team that hasn't played a tough schedule, yet is just 1-3-1 in their last 5. I mean, they really did not look good against Atlanta, which is, one of the worst teams in MLS. And Columbus is unbeaten in 6 overall against Toronto. You want to look at expected goals scored, a metric I like to look at. Columbus on the season, 42 expected goals scored. Toronto, 24. We're just going to play it nice and easy here and take the Crew on the money line to do the job on the road. Second down, Beltway, Ben.
We will stick in the MLB on second down. I'm going to go with Brent Rooker over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And here is where we get a plus money play for the 2.5. But even their ballpark, it doesn't have the air that Colorado has, but it is a minor league park in the Sacktown Park. We know how the ball has been flying there. Brent Rooker, 330, 427, 590 slash line in Sacktown this year. He's also been much better against lefties in that park, 640 slug at home. And then you look at what he's done against Tyler Anderson in his career. 5 for 14 with 2 home runs. Saw him earlier in the season, had a few base hits off of him there. We know that this A's lineup will put traffic on the bases. That's what I like about him. He usually comes up with guys in scoring position. His total bases, you can go 1.5 at minus 125. I was kind of trying to figure out which I liked more, and I lean a little bit more to hits, runs, and RBIs, but the total bases can be a play for me as well at minus 125. I do think Rooker has a breakout game today against left-handed pitching, which he's really done a damn good job, because last year, if you looked at him, every time that I would take Rooker, he was reverse splits. And you'll see this with a lot of different players in the MLB. Trey Turner's another one, for example, where some seasons they're better against righties, some seasons they're better against lefties. It's just how it goes. But we'll ride the trend with Brent Rooker here.
Second down for me, we're going to NFL preseason, and we're going to fade the Cleveland Browns. And I really went back and forth here. And these markets have moved to 4 and above for the most part. You could still find the 3.5 late last night at FanDuel. And look, I have also played it minus 2.5. Now I got it at minus 168. And that is a bit of a price to pay. Do I think Philadelphia wins this somewhat handily? I do. And that's why we're going to go with the 3.5 here. Like, the Browns don't have a good quarterback room to begin with, and their 3 best quarterbacks are not playing in this game. Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders are not playing. Dylan Gabriel, a wee little guy who I don't think is an NFL quarterback, sounds like he's going to play. He's coming off a hamstring. He hasn't been able to stay healthy in practices. And I got to think Snoop Huntley is playing part of this game, and he just got there, and he's terrible. The Eagles are a first-rate operation. The Eagles' depth is way better than the Browns' depth. The Eagles, one of the top 3 rosters in the league. Eagles, this McKee kid running around, he's going to be an NFL quarterback. I love what they're developing there. I just have a hard time taking the Browns very seriously here. I think this is a game that frankly could get a little ugly, and I think the Browns quarterback play is going to be extremely lacking here. So yeah, I like the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they could win this game again by a touchdown or more. Third down, Beltway Ben.
Yeah, we will go back to the MLB here on third down, and that's going to be Carlos Correa. Over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. At just 1.5. The other 2 were 2.5, but it's minus 140. 340, 404, 511 slash line for Correa since being traded over.
He loves
He's
it.
Comfortable in this lineup. This was a guy that in Minnesota, I wanted the Orioles to sign him badly. And I know he's a Boras client, but I was like, just get it done. He doesn't. He goes to Minnesota. And for a while, it's like, well, the Orioles made the right decision. Correa's not been able to do anything. Things aren't well. They end up getting him in a trade for nothing because Minnesota didn't want that salary. We know what the ownership is there. And all of a sudden, he's been incredible. Comfortability in that Astros lineup. And he's doing this without Yordan, who they're expecting to get back somewhat soon. The Mariners are half a game back. This lineup has to turn things up. And the Orioles, we saw how dominant Brandon Young was last night, was very, very close to a perfect game. But it'll be Rico Garcia in his first at-bat because he's going to be the opener. And after that, he'll get Povich, which should be 2 at-bats, maybe 1. But if it's 1, you have to imagine they're doing damage against him. So probably Correa is a part of that with how he's been against lefties. 292, 364, 517 slash line. He also has a batting average of 271 against right-handed pitching, just doesn't have much slug there.
Yeah.
So if we can pick up a base hit against Garcia in the first inning, we saw what Julio did to him the other day at Camden Yards, right center shot, home run there. So righties can get to Rico Garcia, who throws a hard fastball, but it's pretty straight. So I do like Correa over the 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 140.
Yeah, boy. Astros have to swing the bats better than they did last night. Just they didn't swing them at all last night. Third down. I don't love the MLB slate today as much as I have, frankly, some past ones. But I do have an MLB play in third down. Give me the Mariners on the first 5 money line. Brian Wu is a stallion. Brian Wu, unlike some of the other Seattle starters, isn't home reliant, doesn't rely on the sea air that keeps the ball in the ballpark out in Seattle and the big dimensions. He can bring it on the road as well. He went to the Bronx a couple of weeks ago and shoved it on the Yankees. This Mets lineup is scuffling. We've got Nolan McLean, a really interesting prospect for the Mets, making his major league debut in the middle of a failed pennant race, during which the Mets have won. The Mets have won 2 of their last 16 games, and that was barely against the Giants and barely against the Braves. Sorry, Seattle's a better opponent. This is a tough spot for McLean. Mets are getting no depth out of their starting pitching, which means the bullpen is already on fumes. I don't know that McLean's going 3 times through this Seattle lineup. I'd be really surprised. Again, I like that kid. He was a 2-way player in college, but I think this is a really tough assignment. Seattle's the better team. Seattle has the better starter. Seattle's set up better in the bullpen for this game. If it does go sideways, give me Seattle to win the first 5 innings. Fourth is not 4th and long. It is 4th and short. Again, we have continued to hammer these markets. First 3 innings, Nerfies, Yerfies, first quarter bets in the WNBA, first quarter bets sometimes in NFL. So that's the gist of this. We want you paid quickly. 4th and short, Beltway. Ben, what you got?
We're going to go with a Nerfie today. And the Nerfies have not been as successful for me as the first quarter WNBA plays. But with just 1 WNBA game today, I didn't want to force my hand with just 4 players you can get. So I went with a Nerfie here that I really like, and it's the Yankees and the Cardinals. When you look at the starting pitching, Sonny Gray, 2 completely different pitchers at home and on the road. At home, Sonny Gray has been like Cy Young. If anybody was getting just his home numbers, he probably would have been bought heavily at the deadline, but instead he's been awful on the road. 6 of his last 7 home starts, he's gotten a nerfy. Then you look, on the other hand, at Max Fried, who he's been awful. 6 ERA in his last 7 starts, but mostly through the second time through the lineup is when they've gotten to him. 17 of 24 starts this season, Fried has cashed a nerfy for. So when you look at the pitching matchup, and Fried has some familiarity with guys in this lineup and has had some success, of course, when he pitched with the Braves. I do like the nerfy here. It's juiced, which is unfortunate, but when you have a guy like Sonny Gray, who you're expecting first 3 batters, he should go up 3 up, 3 down, even when he has to see a Judge who isn't hitting for as much power right now. And Max Fried, again, as bad as he's been, most of it has not come in the first inning. So I like the nerfy in this game at -148.
Another note on this game. We talked about it a little bit yesterday because I was on the over in the first 3 innings. Yankees go up early. They get to Palante in the first inning. They've got 3 runs in the first 5 batters faced. Chisholm hits a homer. They've got ducks on the pond again in the third. They get up 4-0, and the offense shuts down. And I bring this up because the final score ends up being 4-3, which means now 10 straight road games the Yankees have lost on the run line. That is 10 straight road run line losses for the New York baseball Yankees. 2 good pitchers on the mound today. I'll be interested to see if the Yankees can win by 2 runs or more. I suspect maybe not. 4th and short for me, Beltway Ben. We are going to go to Jerry's World in Dallas, Texas. I guess it's technically Arlington. Give me the Ravens in the first half on the money line. This is the Cooper Rush revenge game. Cooper Rush has not looked great in Ravens camp. It's the first time he's been outside of Dallas. And he threw an interception his first pass last week against the Colts. But I expect him to be a lot better here. The Ravens can run the ball. Dallas can't stop the run. Dallas was an absolute shit show in their first preseason game, and I don't think it's getting better. Brian Schottenheimer, this is a big ask for him and his staff. There's always undue pressure on them. I do think Joe Milton's an interesting quarterback, but he's not going to have a great cast out there around him. The procedural penalties, like this team is not ready to play. They're not prepared. And I think they're going to struggle against the John Harbaugh team that Harbaugh destroys it in the preseason against the spread, in part because they are prepared. They're well coached. They know how to take a team through the week. They generally have great depth on their roster. Now, in the second half, though, I think the Ravens are going to have to play Devin Leary at quarterback, and that scares the bejesus out of me, and all bets are off. So even after getting burned in the first half with the Falcons yesterday, give me the Ravens to win the first half. The rookie kicker, Looper's been good. I think the dome setting will be fine for him. And I think Cooper Rush moves the offense. The Ravens only had 59 yards passing as a team last week. That's not going to sit well with their coordinator, Todd Monken. I think he'll boot Cooper Rush out. I think Cooper Rush can lead a couple scoring drives here. Ravens special teams look much improved, and Dallas is a shit show. All right, Beltway Ben, overtime. We haven't done this in a while. Today, we're going to do a segment we like to call Trend or Bend. Trend, like, leotards and leg warmers. That was a trend back in the day. You're too young to know anything about that. And then bend. If we're going to bend that trend, then that's Radiohead, The Bends, one of the greatest rock music albums ever put forth. And today's trend is, I just gave you one there with the Yankees. 10 straight road line losses, or run line losses on the road. Beltway Ben, people are making a big deal out of the Brewers winning 13 straight games, and rightfully so. We love the Brew Crew. But how about this nugget right here? 14 straight run line road wins for the Brewers. I wasn't sure they were going to do it last night, but sure enough, they won by 2 again because you can't stop them. So the question we ask here is, would you ride this trend like our friends here from 80s television? Or would you bend? I'm gonna kind of half-ass it. I'm gonna kind of do both. I know you are a Brewer skeptic in the playoffs, and I understand that to a certain degree. But are you on this game today in any way, shape, or form? Brewers at the Reds.
First off, I would like to start by saying yesterday again, it doesn't end. However, I would also like to say
It doesn't
I
end.
think
You're right.
I think they're fraudulent.
It
I
does.
think they're going to be fraudulent in the playoffs. However, as a former baseball player, and most of the guys my age don't like little ball, they don't like any of that small ball. They're against it. I am old
Respect!
school. I like the way the Brewers play baseball. I just
Me
think
too.
they're fraudulent. And when they get that bye in the first round of playoffs, they're going to run into somebody they don't like. And you're going to see me fading them on this show. And most likely, I will be yelling, I told you so. However, with this spot here, I didn't bring out either Trent or Ben. I got to meet Choppy a few weeks ago. We went to a minor league baseball game. So I just had to show Choppy to hear. I don't
Respect.
like the Brewers. Choppy is a very nice dog. Got to meet the dog, or was a very nice dog.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Choppy. But I did. Choppy had me signed to the Brewers a little bit today. Am I going to play it? No. Will I watch for it and throw a few bucks on it? Maybe. Again, like Littell, I don't know that I can trust him with Cincinnati. Awful start last time out. And like, you cannot stop him. It's pissing me off. Down 6-0. I'm sitting at the dinner table. I look at my dad like, Mizorowski's getting shelled. This finally come to an end. And he looks at me and he's like, a couple minutes later, 6-5. I'm like, what?
Brewers had him right where they wanted him, Beltway Ben.
They did.
They
It
love
doesn't end.
spotting 6 runs.
They love it. I'll slide with them here. But again, this is a team where I know if I start putting money on them, they'll start losing and they'll start
I don't know
struggling.
about that.
There are teams in sports betting, and I know anybody who's watching this
Yes.
understands this. When you bet on them, they screw you. When you bet against them, they have the best team of all time. I can't do it with the Brewers. I'm ready to watch them lose. But again, I'll throw a few bucks on them to win today.
Brewers have been great for me, Beltway Ben, and I'm going to keep riding them here. And I do have a Brewers play today. Beltway Ben, do you know who's starting for the Brew Crew today?
You made a song about him, and it's the first song, not the second song.
Quinny P. Quinny P. Quinny P. Keep cashing for me. We love to make money with Quinny P. Ding, ding, ding. Quinn Priester on the mound. Beltway Ben. The Brew Crew have won 13 straight Quinny P starts, 9 of those on the run line. They've won 7 straight Quinny P starts on the road, 5 of those on the run line. Quinny P actually has a better road ERA than home ERA, 3.23. You know what I love about Quinny P? Beltway Ben, it's almost 2 ground balls to fly balls. And that's a big deal in that little ballpark in Cincinnati, where Littell gives up a lot of hard contact and a lot of hard contact in the air, and it doesn't take much to get it at a great American ballpark. So I guess I'm technically bending the trend because I have an official play of 1 unit, meatball, on Quinny P on the money line. I'm not, the run line, maybe that's too much of an ask. Like 15 straight run line road victories, maybe too much of an ask. But can they get to Littell and get into that bullpen? Everybody in the Brewers lineup is hitting right now. It doesn't matter what they do. Pocket pancake, Pat Murphy's got the hot hand. Quinny P was banged around last time out. I think he'll be better this time out against a Reds lineup that runs very hot and cold. And I think Yelly and some others can take Littell out. So that's where we are. I'm not jumping off the Brew Crew now. I might even ride the Brew Crew in the playoffs. We'll have to see.
Quinny P could give up 30 runs here in the first inning.
Doesn't matter.
Joey Ortiz will come up with bases loaded and hit one that bounces off first base and second base in the same swing, shoots over the fence in the outfield, and they just start pouring it on. So,
Isaac Collins will swing and miss. It'll be 3-2, and he'll swing and miss at a third strike, and it'll get behind it'll go all the way to the backstop, and a run will score, and Collins will end up on second base.
That's literally what happened.
Brewer ball. That's Brewer ball. Yeah. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Quinny P, nobody loves you like me, buddy. I have full faith that you will deliver for me and the Wanna Bet betting family again today, because we cash with Quinny P. Quinny P. And yeah, Freddie P will be on you too. So that's our show. Beltway Ben, show the people again how we did last night. We went a little long, but hey, it's Quinny P day, baby. If you're not serenading Quinny P, you don't know what the hell you're doing. So there we go. We crushed it again last night. We want to crush it for you again today. We try to distill all of our handicapping down to this show right here. You can find all our picks that we give out in real time on our super Discord. There is a link tree in my bio on Twitter that you can hit up, and pretty soon we'll have a promo code or QR code, whatever they call it, on this show. We will be back at 11, maybe even a little before 11, Beltway Ben, tomorrow if we can, because at 11:35, the Phillies play the Nats, and I will be on that game because Mitchell Parker's on the mound. That's our show. We thank you for tuning in. Thank you for wanting to bet with us. We want to bet with you again tomorrow.